Hello, this is Otyrar News. I'm Yenli Kutibayeva, and today we will be discussing the following. Passions are heating up. How will the US election results affect Kazakhstan? Harassment is gaining momentum. Kazakhstani activists raise alarm. Switzerland will no longer be a quiet harbor for capital outflows. Editor's choice: where to spend the weekend in the third largest metropolis of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan's activists are urging for a harassment law to be implemented. More and more Kazakhstani women are reporting feeling unsafe at work, in universities and on city streets. Often taxi drivers are identified as the perpetrators. The government recently didn't support amendments or harassment. As a result, such cases currently go unregistered, and victims of harassment fear reporting to the police, concerned that the offender will not face consequences.
За неудобное выражение. Просто у меня давно не было этого. Я просто сказал.
A resident of Shymkent who wished to remain anonymous recorded a video showing a driver from one of the well-known taxi aggregators verbally harassing a young woman. Concerned for her safety, she started recording the incident. According to lawyer Yevgeny Yevorsky, there is no specific law addressing harassment as a separate offense. However, he suggested that the inappropriate behavior of driver could at least be charged under hooliganism.
Мелкое хулиганство, я считаю, здесь присутствует состав административного правонарушения будет здесь.
I believe there is a case of minor hooliganism here, which constitutes an administrative offense. Now, if there were any actions, not just words but physical actions, I think there is potential for a charge of attempted rape that simply did not culminate due to circumstances beyond his control, but I think it could be pushed.
Activists have long been calling for the introduction of laws against harassment in both criminal and administrative codes. Women and children are often harassed in public places, taxis, buses, workplaces, schools, or universities. Activists argue that harassment not only affects the victim's psychological well-being, but also can impact their economic status in the country. Women are afraid to use public transport and taxis, attended lectures with professors who make inappropriate jokes, thereby missing out on education and knowledge, and sometimes even losing their jobs.
Они очень сильно дискриминируют права женщин и действительно.
They severely discriminate against women's rights and pose a threat to their lives and health, causing psychological trauma and potentially leading to such a heinous crime as rape. Harassment in public transport is a serious economic problem. Many women don't even go to work.
Meanwhile, the updated law on the protection of women's and children's rights includes a provision specifically addressing harassment towards minors. Activists argue that a similar provision is needed to protect the rights of adults from assaults on their honor and dignity. Tina Kudaybergen, Anastasia Novikova, Asylbek Mahalbayev, special for Otyrar News.
In Kazakhstan, efforts are underway not only to combat harassers, but also those illegally transferring capital to Switzerland. Prime Minister of Kazakhstan, Olzhas Bektenov, has signed a memorandum on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters with Switzerland. Does this mean that Switzerland will no longer be a quiet harbor for capital outflows? Mutual legal assistance may include serving documents, obtaining and transmitting evidence, arrest, confiscation and transfer of objects or property. It's worth noting that last year the Ministry of Finance Revenue Committee reported that as of December 31st, 2021, 354 individuals held bank accounts in foreign banks across 59 countries. On the other side of the world, in America, unprecedented passions are flaring up. This past weekend, the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, announced his decision to withdraw from the presidential race. The 81-year-old president has decided to remain in office until the end of his term in January 2025. But who will take over the White House? Republican Trump or Biden's proposed candidate, his vice president, Kamala Harris? My colleague Diana Idris has been delving into the intricacies of the American dream.
The situation surrounding the upcoming election in America is taking new twists and turns. If it weren't happening in our reality, one might think the current events were the product of a bad screenplay. An assassination attempt on Trump, Biden's contracting COVID-19 for the third time, and the potential for Kamala Harris to become the first female president. Such turbulence around the future occupant of the White House captures the world's attention as America's superpower status sets the tone globally. Although the official Democratic candidate will be announced on August 7, current President Joe Biden has stepped down from the race, announcing on July 21st on X that he is proposing Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic candidate. Trump responded in his characteristic manner, calling Biden the worst president in the country's history and claiming that defeating Harris would be even easier. Trump's rhetoric, especially since the last debates, has focused on comparing himself to the 81-year-old Biden, where the flamboyant showman Trump appeared confident and victorious.
From the moment we take back the White House from crooked Joe Biden and Kamala, I call her Laughing Kamala. You ever watch her laugh? She's crazy. You know, you can tell a lot by her laugh. No, she's crazy. She's nuts. She's not as crazy as Nancy Pelosi. Crazy Nancy. Did you see Nancy Pelosi is selling out Biden now? Did you see? She turned on him like a dog. Well, I don't know if he should continue. All of a sudden, where did that come from? She was 100%. All of a sudden, she's not sure. Not sure means he's gone. But no, she's crazy as a bedbug. She's a crazy person. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michigan. Thank you very, very much.
After the failed assassination attempt, Trump's ratings skyrocketed. The world saw images of a bloody Trump raising his fist in a gesture of determination to make America great again.
Hello, my name is Elina Usov. I've been living in the United States for the last 15 years. Originally, I'm from Kazakhstan. I had my master's degree from a local university. I live in Florida now, and I was asked about my opinion about election and who will be the winner of this election. I will be voting for Donald Trump second time in a row. 4 years ago, I voted for him, and this time we'll be doing it again and hoping that he will win, because during his presidency the country was in a much better shape than in the last 4 years. So I don't think either Joe Biden or Kamala Harris are good candidates to run this year, and I think that Democratic Party can surprise us with proposing Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton. They've been pushing for a female president. They know that people would like that idea of the first female president. So that might be their surprise coming, but we don't know. We are just waiting and expecting surprises. Just like every election year, we're surprised with something. And it might be getting crazier in the coming months. We just pray for it to be a peaceful end of the year. And whatever the outcome is, I pray for people to be united, to not fight with each other over politics, and remain calm through whatever comes our way.
However, staying calm won't be easy for Trump either. Though not yet official, he now faces a young, energetic, self-made woman of color as his opponent, a much more charismatic contender. Harris can resonate with large groups of potential voters, especially women. It is important to know that Harris has worked alongside Biden as his vice president, meaning that if she wins, the country will continue the course proposed by the Democrats. She has the support of significant Democratic figures, including the most influential Democrat, Nancy Pelosi, and California Governor Gavin Newsom. Additionally, immediately after the announcement, the Harris campaign raised a record $81 million, instilling confidence in the party. Harris, too, is confident, recently calling Trump a fraud, something she's used to dealing with from her time as Attorney General.
I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say I know Donald Trump's type.
Kazakh analyst and CEO of Damu Capital Management, Murat Kastayev, shared his thoughts on Kazakhstan's future in case of democratic victory in an interview with Karavan.kz.
The democratic administration in terms of policy does not put much pressure on Kazakhstan, does not threaten secondary sanctions, and threatens quite favorably. The recent meeting between President Biden and the leaders of Central Asian countries, followed by Secretary of State Blinken's visit, reflects the growing interests in cooperation between the United States and the region. Democrats are also more willing to spend budget money, weakening the United States dollar and supporting commodity prices, which is positive for us.
The expert called Trump's policy too unpredictable based on the experience of his first term. Kastayev noted that Trump and the Republican administration generally adhere to a tougher foreign policy and may intensify confrontation with Russia and China, Kazakhstan's closest neighbors and partners. However, he noted that perhaps a tough and strong U.S. presidential administration is what is needed to stabilize the situation in the world and bring some semblance of order. It is reassuring to know that Kazakhstan has always strived for a multi-vector foreign policy. This means that regardless of who becomes the president of the United States, the country will continue to develop relations with various countries and international organizations, aiming for maximum diversification and balance of its own foreign policy and economic interest, of course. One thing I can say with confidence, this fall there is no need to pay for streaming services in pursuit of entertainment content. America, with its elections, will certainly take the lead in global shows. We will certainly be keeping an eye on the situation. Thank you for watching.
Well, to understand the excitement surrounding the US presidential elections, you must speak English. For example, children from Shymkent are learning robotics for free at the American Corner. The club started this week and has already attracted a large number of gifted children. They have already created their first traffic light. Now the children are working on their own projects as part of a competition. The authors of the 3 best projects will receive prizes and sets of the Arduino electronic constructor. In addition to the robotics club, the English Corner also hosts speaking clubs, movie nights, and other entertainment programs aimed at teaching English.
Regular events are held here, weekly meetings aimed at developing communication skills among young people and improving the level of English of tourists, local entrepreneurs and journalists. Entertainment events, a board game club, film screening with English subtitles are held. The Youth Culture Club, where you can get acquainted with American history, its traditions and culture. Trainers from different fields are invited to implement projects. There are volunteer programs with the participation of English-speaking specialists to exchange experience. Our students also come as volunteers, conduct weekly events.
The English Corner in the Pushkin Library has become a center of attraction for foreigners and residents of the city who are ready to language exchange and want to improve their English. There are many necessary books, board games, and full access to information and English resources. Already in August, the Book Lovers Club will start its work. Everyone will be able to choose a book for every taste, take it home to read, and share their opinion. In general, there are English corners in 10 cities of Kazakhstan, and their number has reached more than 600 centers around the world. In Shymkent, art objects are created from garbage. The creative group decided to collect installations, paintings, and even sculptures from household waste, bottles, old clothes, waste paper. Several paintings were sent to the competition in London and China. Our colleague visited an unusual workshop.
From these old computer boards, they plan to create a factory only on a painting. The canvas is assembled from old batteries, clock mechanism, fabric scraps, tin cans, and much more. Adelina Volkotyk says people bring in unwanted items, find things on the street, and then create unusual installations.
These are all items that people were going to dispose of. They bring them to us. Here, for example, are expired bank cards, pieces of fabric. We don't throw them away, but use them. Here, the boat will become a small factory and house. Windows, fences, and window sills will be added now.
Здесь пластик, например, здесь резина.
Здесь у нас дерево, деревянные всякие штуки.
Everything that was planned to be thrown away is processed and stored in a special warehouse. Maria Brzezinska says they create paintings, installations and other crafts from the trash, which even interest foreigners. For example, this costume was presented at a fashion week in the USA. The headpiece is made of branches and stones, and the tunic is made of fabric scraps. Another collection has already been sent to China.
We create clothing. Our second collection is already sold out, taken to galleries even abroad. We create paintings, art objects, and design spaces, including interiors and exteriors, all from recycled materials.
The creative youth don't plan to stop at what they've achieved. They massively participate in community cleanups, help keep the city clean, and from the collected trash they create and produce at such a level that orders from CIS countries in Europe are booked a month in advance.
Last year, 500,000 tourists visited Shymkent, while Turkestan welcomed 680,000 people, according to information shared by the local administration. In an interview with our correspondent, the head of the tourism department shared ideas on how they plan to further attract travelers to the southern region. One of the methods involves establishing a club of content creators who produce such beautiful videos. The best videos will be showcased in 15 sister cities with location tags. Additionally, the administration mentioned plans for a roadshow emphasizing that not a single tenge from the state budget will be spent on it.
У нас есть все для этого. У нас есть брошюры.
We have materials, there are consulates, there are embassies that will help us with this. We will gather tour operators and advertise the city, and you don't need a lot of money for this. 32 million tenge was pledged to hold a food tour in 4 cities of China, but we quickly abandoned this idea and returned the money to the treasury.
As the weekend approaches, we've compiled a small selection of places you can visit with your loved ones. So here we go. The top 5 recommended places to visit starts with Lake, which reopened this year. On a warm summer evening, it's a wonderful spot for a stroll and romantic place for couples, ideal for declarations of love. Next, we suggest visiting the new park in Shym City. It has everything: an amphitheater, workout zones, loungers, children playgrounds, gazebos and swings. The park's vast area allows you to get in your steps and enjoy your time. You can even have a picnic. The most important rule is not to litter and respect the environment. For animal lovers, our Otyrar correspondents recommend visiting the zoo, where recently an adorable pony and the young bison were born. A visit to the arboretum is a must. In the summer, it's especially refreshing, and the scent of coniferous trees helps calm minds after a long work week. Finally, we conclude our top 5 with one of the city's largest mosques, Seyjankari, spanning 12 hectares with minarets towering 63 meters high, capable of accommodation around 12,000 people. One of Kazakhstan's most beautiful mosques, it attracts tourists from around the world with its grandeur and beauty. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your weekend.